Hello everyone, welcome to the mains answer writing series. So this will be our second video, and today also I have a question from GS1. That is the topic of contributors, the contributors of our national freedom struggle. So the question is, Bal Gangadhar Tilak life and philosophy is a testimony to Indian nationalism and Indian constitution. So if you see this question, it has two parts. One is it's asking to link Tilak's life and philosophy to Indian nationalism, which is quite an easy thing you can answer from our basic information we all have in different books. The second question is a bit tricky and difficult. It's asking the life and philosophy we have to link with our Indian constitution. Like, what was his views, which in a way uh, got embedded into our constitution? Because Tilak died in 1920, right? Constitution came in 1950, so it's a gap of 30 years. So, what was his views regarding our Indian constitution? Like what he told at that point of time, which came later into our Indian constitution. Fine. So one line you can write anything. One line you can write anything about Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Just you can start with the intro, and then you can finally jump to the point. What is asked in the question. जैसे कि लास्ट क्लास में मैंने बताया था, it's always better to structure the answer, because we have to exactly write what is asked in the question. Question is asked is about nationalism and Indian constitution, so we have to quickly come to the point. Fine. Okay. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak, the radical nationalist, was called as the father of Indian unrest by the Britishers. You can add one more line also if it's a 250 marker, like 250 words, and you can just add one more line. And if it's a 150, then you can just write one line and then come to the question. So testimony to his nationalism. So what are the facts which in a way justified he was a nationalist? So first point is he was extremist in nature. So in 1890 he started condemning the moderates. He was against constitutional agitation. He only advocated mass agitation. So he was extremist in nature. Second is Bengal partition. In Bengal partition, he supported the Swadeshi and boycott movement. Then his idea of Swaraj, he instilled the idea of Swaraj, that is self-rule, into masses by his slogan, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Now the slogan was he gave to the masses during the home rule agitation. Okay. Then he had his own home rule. He created the organizational link between the masses and freedom movement is his own home rule. So that part also we can write here. Next, we can write the Lucknow Pact. It was also a very a big thing which happened during our national movement. So it was very much instrumental. He was instrumental in formulating the Lucknow Pact, which provided for Hindu-Muslim unity. Also, see, the thing is, these points, Lucknow Pact, Bengal partition, everyone will write. So you have to enrich your answer. To enrich your answer, you have to give some extra points which few people know, but you know. And in that point, you will get that extra mark. So here is this point, Hindi in Devanagari script. He was the first leader to suggest that Hindi written in Devanagari script to be accepted as the national language of India. So it is also a testimony to his nationalist views. He was very nationalist in nature. So he was the first leader to suggest that Hindi written in Devanagari script should be accepted as the national language of India in 1920. Before his death, he was the leader who suggested. And one more point you can add here regarding the festivals, regarding Ganesh festivals, because he mobilized the masses. That was also an example of his nationalism. And Shivaji festival, you can add in one point if if you have if you have time, or if you see okay, word limit is there, I can mention. So one line you can mention. Okay, it's not like hard and fast rule you have to mention, because all these points are also giving or justifying the test or testimonying the fact that he was a nationalist. Fine. Now coming to the second question, or the second part. Second part is how his views were a testimony to our present Indian constitution, because he died in 1920. So this question, to write this question, like to write the answer, write the perfect answer, you have to read a lot of books. Okay, because in mains questions will be original. Like it's not like you to write a very perfect mains answer. It's like if you read spectrum and expect to write an answer, so it will not happen. Okay. So the source of this particular testimony to Indian Constitution is there is a book Durga Das. There is a book. It's a very old book. Like it's not like recommended, but yeah, I found it from there only. So his views were a testimony to Indian Constitution. How? Because he had envisaged something he had told, which in a way later, after long years, it came into our Constitution, Constituent Assembly. He envisaged constituting a Constituent Assembly, which became a reality post the Cabinet Mission in 1946. Yes, it's correct. See you, when we read basic books, we think ki Constituent Assembly, okay, M.N. Roy was the one in 1934. Basic things we all know, it is mentioned in our polity book, every book. Yes, M.N. Roy bought it, agree. But that was in a very explicitly he told it, like it was a written or a recorded evidence. But long before that, even Constituent Assembly was envisaged by Tilak also. Okay, very early times, 1900, when he was very active. So Constituent Assembly he had envisaged, which became a reality, and the real Constituent Assembly was brought in the Cabinet Mission or suggested or recommended in the Cabinet Mission. From Cabinet Mission only, our Constituent Assembly was it became a reality, right? Second, universal adult franchise. He had proposed universal adult franchise very early during his phase, which later came under Article 326 in our present constitution. Yes, he was the one. A lot of freedom fighters have recommended that universal adult franchise should be there, but he was also one of them. And finally, we got the right to vote, that is Article 326. Third thing, decent standard of living for workers. He also envisaged a living wage with a decent standard of living for workers. Now, this thing came in Article 43 DPSP. Simply, we are writing one point. His envisaged what he envisaged, and that how it came into our article. We are just justifying it. Simple in one line. Okay. Fourth, nationwide prohibition of cow slaughter. He also advocated nationwide prohibition and of toxic drinks and all, and an end to cow slaughter. And these all things came in Article 47, 48, DPSPs again. Public sector industries. Tilak propounded the development of a PSU for key industries. During his time, he told that PSUs are needed for industrialization or overall development, and PSU became a reality in our in our post-independent part, because it eventually became a reality. In our mixed economy, PSUs played a very big thing, even today also. Emphasis on education. On education, he emphasized on education to build a vigilant, disciplined, cultured, and progressive society. So he was very like clear that education is required. And finally, we have Article 21A in our constitution, right to education. So all these points were clearly, it is giving justification. These are the points which he had envisaged and later it added into the constitution. So we are totally satisfying the demand of the question. What is asked, the demand of the question. Okay. So in conclusion, you can write, Tilak ignited the spark of patriotism and successfully mobilized people from all sections of the society. His famous Ganpati festival is still celebrated with pomp and show, which shows the deep connect between us and our glorious past. See, in the point I forgot to write Ganpati festival. So what I did is I added in the conclusion part. So you have to, while writing, you have to see in real time, like where you are fitting the points. Okay. Thank you.